Have you ever thought of someone and then they called you? Have you walked into a room and felt like you had already lived the moment before? Have you opened a book at random and read exactly the words you needed to hear, as if the universe had highlighted them for your soul? Most people shrug and call this coincidence, but Carl Jung did not. He believed these moments were not accidents. He believed they were messages, not from some supernatural realm above, but from the universe itself, from the hidden fabric of reality that moves between your thoughts and the world around you. He called it synchronicity. And once you understand it, you will never look at your life the same way again. Synchronicity is one of the most mind-bending ideas in psychology because it shatters the illusion that events must be logically connected to be meaningful. Jung proposed that there are two kinds of connections in the world. One is causal, where A causes B, like pushing a domino. The other is a causal, where two events happen together, without a physical link, but with such profound symbolic meaning that they feel orchestrated by something beyond randomness. The problem is, our culture only respects the first kind. Science says, don't trust feelings, only trust proof. But Jung said something much more dangerous. He said, sometimes meaning is more important than logic. Sometimes the universe speaks, not through cause, but through coincidence. But how could that be? Isn't the world just atoms in motion? Isn't meaning something we humans invent after the fact? That's what most people believe. But Jung's experience told him otherwise. As a psychoanalyst, he sat with people on the edge of madness, and over again, he saw it, patterns emerging in their dreams that mirrored events in their waking lives, symbols repeating, names echoing, deaths and births and numbers and animals appearing with uncanny timing. It wasn't always dramatic. Sometimes it was subtle. Sometimes it was terrifying, but it was always too perfect to dismiss. These were not mere coincidences. They were synchronistic events where the outer world and the inner world lined up like mirrors, speaking in a language few people know how to hear. And this is where Jung went further than Freud. While Freud believed the unconscious was just a basement of repressed desires, Jung saw it as a living intelligence, an ancient network of symbols, archetypes, and forces shared by all human beings. He called it the collective unconscious. And synchronicity, to Jung, was when that deeper layer of reality decided to whisper into the visible world. When the archetypes moved not just through dreams, but through real life. When the psyche and the cosmos were no longer two things, but two sides of the same mirror. Think about what that means. It means your inner life isn't sealed inside your skull. It means your thoughts, feelings, and dreams are not just private fantasies. They're part of the environment. They bleed into reality. They shape what comes to you. And when you are aligned, when you're paying attention, the world begins to reflect your soul back at you. That's synchronicity, a message in the chaos, a bridge between the invisible and the visible. And if you've ever experienced it, you know how it feels. Electric, eerie, like time has stopped, like someone or something is trying to get your attention. But who is speaking? Jung didn't believe in a puppeteer god pulling strings. He believed in what he called the self, a larger version of you, the whole of your being, conscious and unconscious. The self wants wholeness. It wants integration, and it uses synchronicity to wake you up when you drift too far from your path. It shows you symbols. It places mirrors. It stirs your life with just enough mystery that you can't ignore it. It doesn't shout. It whispers. And those who listen become something more than ordinary humans. They become seekers, not just of knowledge, but of meaning. And meaning is the key. You can't prove synchronicity in a lab. It doesn't follow formulas. It doesn't repeat on command. But when it happens, you feel it in your bones. You know it because it's tailored to you. It's as if the universe is saying, this is for you. This moment, this symbol, this pattern, pay attention. And the rational mind screams, coincidence! But something deeper inside you says, no, this is a message. Don't look away. Jung told the story of a patient who was too rational, too shut down emotionally. She dismissed her dreams and couldn't connect to her feelings. One day she told Jung a dream about a golden scarab beetle. Just as she described it, a real beetle, a scarabaeid, tapped at the window. Jung opened it and caught the beetle. He handed it to her and said, "Here's your scarab." And something cracked inside her, not because of the bug, but because of the impossibility of it, the timing, the symbol. It pierced her defenses. That's synchronicity. It bypasses the mind and speaks straight to the soul. So, why does this matter for you? Because whether you know it or not, your life is filled with messages, symbols, dreams, patterns that repeat, encounters that nudge you, losses that awaken you. But you've been trained to ignore them, to call them noise, to stay inside the safe box of logic. But life doesn't live in that box. Meaning doesn't live there. And neither do you, not fully. You're part of something far more mysterious, and synchronicity is the crack in the wall. The moment the machinery of time and space blinks, and you glimpse what's behind the curtain. But here's the catch. You can't manufacture synchronicity. You can't force it. You can only invite it. And you invite it by aligning yourself, by becoming honest, by integrating your shadows, by listening to your dreams, by living symbolically, not just functionally, by asking, what is life trying to tell me? Not in a paranoid way, but in a poetic way. When you begin to see your life as a dialogue, the universe becomes more alive. It starts to speak back. You've seen it. That strange feeling when someone mentions a book and then 3 other people mention it in the same week. When you think of a person and they appear. When numbers repeat. When animals cross your path in moments of emotional intensity, you've brushed against it. But the question is, did you listen? Did you pause? Did you receive the message? Or did you scroll past it like another notification? Jung believed that synchronicity increases when we are on the edge of change, when the psyche is stirring, when something deep within is trying to emerge. It is the self saying, you are ready, look. But most people turn away. They demand evidence. They laugh it off. And the conversation ends. But you, if you're still listening, have the chance to become fluent in this language. The language of symbols, the language of meaning, the hidden grammar of existence. Because this isn't about predicting the future. It's about participating in it. It's not about magic. It's about meaning. When you are tuned to your inner world, the outer world becomes meaningful, not always pleasant, not always safe, but always alive. And that aliveness is what we crave more than anything. Synchronicity is a taste of the numinous, the holy, the mysterious, the real. It reminds you that life is not a dead mechanism, but a living story, a myth, and you are the protagonist. But this also means responsibility. Because when life becomes symbolic, you must stop pretending you're just a victim. You have to become conscious. You have to walk your path, not drift through it. Because the universe doesn't waste synchronicities on those who aren't listening. The scarab only knocks when the soul is ready. And when it does, everything changes. Not outside, but inside. Suddenly the world is alive again. Not just a place to survive, but a place to awaken. Your wounds become teachers. Your fears become guides. Your dreams become blueprints. And every encounter becomes sacred. You begin to live mythically, not because you believe in fairy tales, but because you realize your life is one. A story unfolding in layers, and synchronicity is how the next page finds you. Carl Jung gave us a map to that story. Not a fixed map, but a symbolic one. He didn't give answers. He gave permission to wonder, to notice, to trust the moments that make no sense but feel like destiny. And in that trust, something shifts. You stop needing to control everything. You start participating. You become an instrument in a cosmic orchestra. Sometimes you play, sometimes you're played. But either way, you are part of the music. So pay attention, watch your dreams, write them down, reflect on symbols, listen to your intuition. Don't dismiss what repeats. Don't ignore what disturbs. Ask yourself, what is life trying to say? Who am I becoming? What pattern am I in? And when something improbable happens, don't rush to explain it. Let it speak. Let it echo. Let it change. Because synchronicity is not proof of anything. It is the invitation to everything. It is the universe reaching out with open hands asking, are you awake yet? Do you see the mirror? Do you hear the voice? And if you say yes, truly yes, then your life becomes more than a sequence of events. It becomes a dialogue with the divine, not outside you, but through you, around you, within you. In every moment that says, look again. In every coincidence that whispers, there's more. In every scarab that taps at your window asking, are you ready to transform? That is synchronicity. That is Jung's gift. And now, it's yours.